census started. And I think that it's essential that we finish strong as we can and do the best that we can. It's been a great effort by the volunteers and the people that have been working on this for over a year. We've had some great events. We're over 70% participation in the census, but we can do a little bit better. We've got a couple weeks left as a group, and we want to contact some people and just make a final pitch and to make sure that people understand the importance of what we're trying to do here. And the funding that comes back to the city and to the communities that participate in the census is critical for us for the next decade. So the work that's being done today will affect us for 10 years. Some of the money that comes back will go to pandemic assistance funds to help work with people that have been really impacted by the COVID-19. We're getting money now, a little bit of dribble from Kane County in the Elgin portion and Cook County. But more assistance we can get, the better off we'll survive this really a lifetime occurrence for all of us. Funding is from the federal government through the census, funds free lunch programs at the schools, healthcare assistance for families in need, provides tuition assistance for community colleges and local colleges. Obviously, it impacts how we are as a state and how we get represented at the federal level. And trust me, the better representation we have in Washington, the better off we have of bringing funds back. We have some great representatives now, and we want to make sure that they continue to do a good job for us. Also, it helps with economic planning and development. It's a critical part of any city as how we move forward. And that's why I want to talk a little bit today to the businesses as well. This is not just a Dave Kaptain to the individuals, it's Dave Kaptain to the businesses as well, that you get something back from this. And I want to talk to some of the larger businesses. They can be a partner in this in the last a couple weeks before the end of September. A memo out to your employees would be very helpful. Say, hey, have you filled the census out? Let's take a couple minutes and do this. You can do this whole thing in less than 10 minutes on a computer, or we can send out people to help. But we need to know who you are and where you're at. And I think of First Card, a couple thousand employees in Elgin, Sherman Hospital and Sherman Hospital and St. Joseph's Presence Hospital, hundreds of employees, and this can directly affect your business. How funding comes back to you for people that need healthcare assistance, and important things here that we need to work on together. The community will lose $15,000 for every person that does not sign up. What's that mean for us right now? We have about 30,000 people that have in the city of Elgin that have not signed up for the census. And that means over the course of 10 years, $450 million will not come back to the city of Elgin because we didn't sign up. We can do a better job. We can do some things here to help make our community stronger. And it allows the city council for the next 10 years to do some planning, and we can make those things happen for the city to make a better life for everybody. But you need to participate. This is the one time that you can participate, step up, and at very little effort on your part, do something to really help this community. So I look forward to working with you. We need to continue to push until the last day, which is September 30th. And we'll do our job at that time, and we'll do the best we can do. That's all I can ask. That's all we can ask of anybody. If you need to get involved, there's some phone numbers to call. And if you need help in Spanish, you can dial 844-468-2020, or you can get on the website at 2020census.gov. Please do that. Let's work together and try to make this really a strong finish for the Elgin community. We'll turn it over to Laura, and we'll have a conversation, and we'll be willing to answer questions from anybody that has a question they'd like to bring up.
Thank you, Mayor Kaptain, for inviting me back to provide some updates about the U.S. Census. I'd like to begin by sharing the current self-response rate at the national, at the state level and at the local level. Illinois has a self-response rate of about 70%. We rank 7th in the nation. Elgin has a response rate of 72.8%. In comparison to Illinois, Minnesota ranks first with a 74.3% self-response, and Wisconsin ranks second with a 71.5%. So we're doing good in Elgin, but we still have a little bit more work to do, right? On the screen here, we can see this map where we can see the response rate for Elgin at 72.8%. Now, we have moved on to our last part here of the census, where our census workers begin going door to door. And that began July 30th in Elgin. As of today, Illinois has a 22.3 non-response follow-up completion rate. Kane County, which is serviced by our DeKalb area census office, has a completion rate for non-response follow-up of 85.2%. So the census has been using different methods to do outreach. They have been going door to door, following all CDC guidelines. And we have also been emailing households in low responding areas, areas that have a response rate of lower than 50%. A final mailing has also been sent to homes that have not responded, and that is a paper form. Those were sent out on August 22nd, and all mailings are expected to arrive to these homes by September 15th. Now, please note that this is the last mailing in our series of reminders that the census has mailed to non-responding households since mid-March. And again, those phone numbers in English, if you'd like to respond over the phone, it's 844-330-2020. And in Spanish, it's 844-468-2020. You can request a callback if the lines are very busy. And also note that the lines are open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Central Time. We strongly urge you to respond as soon as you can because your community depends on it, right? They are depending on you. We are all counting on each other to count ourselves so that Elgin can receive the appropriate funding. Now, if a census employee does come to your house, a census taker, please know that they can try to make contact with you up to 6 times. They work between the hours of 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And if a census worker comes to your door and they do not speak your language, you are able to request a return visit from a census taker who speaks your language. If you see that you missed the enumerator and they left you a note, please note that you are also able to still complete your response online, over the phone, or by paper. I encourage all of you to respond online today as soon as you can to minimize the number of visits that a census taker might have to take to your home for your response. Our census takers do have ID badges with their photos. They also have the logo of the Department of Commerce, and they have an expiration date on there. They don't wear specific uniforms, but they do have census bags that are black, white, and have blue letters. A census employee will never be asking you for your social security number, a donation, your citizenship status, immigration status, or an account number. None of that information is ever requested. Now, the Elgin Complete Count Committee has been doing such a great job and they have been going to different locations helping our community respond. I know one of their locations is Los Comales, where we have local community members helping you complete your form there. Please visit one of these locations with them so that you can get assistance and ask as many questions as you have about the census. And thank you so much to the Elgin Complete Count Committee for all of the work that they have been doing. You guys have been amazing and have really been at the forefront of all of the census work. Thank you. And just one last note, I'd like to repeat the phone number in Spanish for our community here. Si usted todavía no ha llenado su censo, por favor, llénelo en línea por el formulario que le llegó a su casa o por teléfono. Todavía tiene tiempo. El número de teléfono es el 844-468-2020. Gracias. Thank you very much, and let's get counted.
Okay, if anybody has any questions, it's really a good time to ask. And thank you, Laura, for the update. You know, and I had a conversation, I don't want to leave some people out. My friends in the Asian community approached me about 6 months ago and felt that they were undercounted. To those people, you have 2 weeks. Let's make sure you get that count done and you get the representation. This money will go back to your community and help you in job creation, education for your children, and how you live within the city of Elgin. I know you've been a great asset to the community for everybody. As we close today, I think it's important that as citizens, there's a couple things that we can do. As individuals that at home, you know, I have a job that takes me out into the community, so I live a little bit of a different life. But many people are at home and they have a chance to do something that makes their community better. One is to be involved in the census and get counted. And certainly the other one is to vote and make sure that you vote. So it's all part of us being good citizens.
Those are all great points, Mayor. And just a reminder to the community that this only happens once every 10 years. So we won't be able to count ourselves until 2030. So this is really our opportunity to let our community know that we are here, we are involved, we are present, and that we truly care about our community because it affects our schools, our roads, and the services that we have in our city.
Absolutely. And we have one question that asks about how much we lose, and maybe we can talk as a family and think of a family as for each person that in the family that does not respond. So we'll look at a husband and wife and 2 children. The children count. If they respond as well, that's $1,500 per person per year. That's $6,000 per year for your that's your family's responsible for. Over the course of the 10 years until the next census, that's $60,000 that will come back to the city of Elgin and help us make everybody's life a little bit better. So every little bit counts and every person counts.
I believe there is a question from the audience. The question is, are there 2 censuses or is there just a separate one for Elgin? There is one census that takes place once every 10 years. That is the census that we are completing now. Now, the Census Bureau does have multiple surveys throughout that 10-year span, and we do quite a few. So there is a possibility that you might be receiving the census form now, which is very short. It's only a couple of questions. And you might be receiving an additional survey, like the American Community Survey, that is much more extensive. Those surveys are also part of the Census Bureau. We also encourage people to complete them, but there is only one census that takes place once every 10 years.
Okay, anybody else have any other questions? Okay, Laura, would you like to finish up and summarize, and we'll close out the event today.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much for your time today. Please remember that there is still time for you to be counted. Please visit our website. It's 2020census.gov. And in Spanish, it's 2020census.gov/ES. Please remember that the census is safe, is simple, and it's significant, right? Because it affects us for the next 10 years. Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you, Elgin, and have a great day.
Thank you, Laura, for what you do. And thanks to all the volunteers who've been involved. In closing, let's be counted, let's be safe, and stay well. Thank you very much.